This is the E-commerce Brain Trust, a podcast about building momentum online for established consumer brands. Join our hosts and their expert guests for high-level conversations about e-commerce strategies, trends, and innovations. Access our brain trust and boost your brand's e-commerce potential.
Hello and welcome to the E-commerce Brain Trust. I'm Julie Spear, Head of Retail Marketplace Services here at Criteo, alongside my co-host, Director of Retail Account Management, Jordan Ripley. And today we're back for another Retail Roundup. And we've got our trusty Roundup round table with us. We've got Armin on Ops and Pat on Retail Media. Excited to dig into the latest and greatest from the past month in the world of retail media and marketplaces.
Yeah, awesome. Excited to be here.
Hey, Julie. Hey, Jordan. Excited to be here.
Armin, that was understated. I'm not feeling your enthusiasm.
So I spent all my enthusiasm last night. Bosnia won against Italy, and we qualified for the World Finals. So, yeah.
Congratulations.
Rigs the Roundup. I can't believe it, Armin. How dare you?
I'm so sorry I didn't lead with that. Congratulations. Well, I don't think in the world of retail media and marketplaces, we can have any kind of a conversation that doesn't start with AI. One of the things that I am going to do going forward for our retail roundups is we will start with AI and we will have a new segment called AI Corner, where we'll kind of bring together all the AI updates from the past month and just give our quick take on what they can mean for brands in the world of retail media. With that in mind, Pat, Armin, Jordan, we have a few updates from the past month. I'll go through them here, and then let's just rattle off the hot takes and what they mean to all of us. First, we have OpenAI is reportedly scaling back its agentic commerce in instant checkout plans. And also, Amazon and OpenAI just announced that they have a $50 billion investment partnership, that's billion with a B, that seems to also involve AWS. On the advertising side, Criteo joined OpenAI's ChatGPT ad pilots as its first ad tech partner. And then finally, we've got good old Walmart doubling down, embedding its Sparky assistant directly inside ChatGPT. So let's start on the media side. Pat, talk to us about Criteo and what this can tell us about the next stages in the battle relative to AI wars.
Yeah, my interpretation actually takes some of these stories in conjunction with one another. And the main thesis that I've come away with is OpenAI and ChatGPT more specifically are just trying to figure out who and what they want to be. Essentially, they have this massive opportunity of loads and loads of eyeballs and attention. And the next obvious question, especially when you've raised as much money as they have, is how do we monetize all this attention? I think that early failed effort where you had mentioned that they're scaling back on their agentic commerce, you could make a reasonable case that they cut that test off a bit short. But basically, they determined that people didn't want to go to ChatGPT to check out. And essentially, their core problem there was they couldn't normalize metadata across all the millions and millions of e-commerce sites on the web. So that was creating a problem for them as well. In terms of the partnership that you had mentioned with Criteo, what this is, or what under this pilot program is, Criteo will enable brands to run performance-driven advertising within ChatGPT's environment, bring it commerce data, advertisers to reach consumers while they're asking for product advice, comparisons, or recommendations. But really, at the same time, what we've seen time and time again over the years is that just because people build something doesn't mean that people want to use it. Just because functionality exists, it has to actually solve a problem for people to adopt that new behavior. One of the great examples I remember from this was when Facebook and Amazon integrated, so it allowed users to check out directly in Facebook on Amazon. It didn't take hold because just because you could do that behavior, people didn't want to. So what all this core question is for ChatGPT is, why are people coming to ChatGPT? What is their intent when they come here? Are we matching that intent? And how do we make sure we're not diluting the model with ads?
One of the update that you mentioned, Julian, the sort of like OpenAI and Amazon partnership, I do think it is a massive partnership, but we've seen Amazon be a bit of an island here in terms of its own Rufus shopping and sort of the way that it allows AI shopping and the walled gardens it has. I still think that this is a little bit of a wait and see, similar to Pat's point of OpenAI and how it integrates agentic commerce. It's mostly like a technology partnership to enable a bunch of compute for OpenAI using AWS. So maybe this is them talking a little bit more Andy Jassy and OpenAI, but I don't know necessarily that like tomorrow we'll start to see Amazon listings at ChatGPT. I think that's still a long roadmap ahead of us if it even happens at all.
Yeah, to start with the conversation. It just has to start somewhere.
Well, they said hi to each other. We have that.
Yeah. Well, Armin, from your perspective on the organic and discovery side of things, if OpenAI is pulling back on buy buttons while Walmart is leaning into chatbots inside chatbots, where should brands really be focusing their optimization energy right now?
I believe the focus for brands should not be changing as we wait for someone to actually figure out agentic commerce. Instead of worrying about the buy buttons, brands should be doing basic ACO and solving what we call the iceberg problem. So right now, most brands only show the tip of the iceberg, just basic keywords, titles, and unlimited content. But AI needs the whole story. So you should be taking your customer reviews and your internal Q&A and turning them into data that a bot can actually understand. When you give the AI the full story, it has the confidence it needs to recommend you to the shopper. Once the story is clear, you have to make sure the AI maps your products correctly. This is very important, and it mainly refers to having all the product specs and details 100% correct. If the bot is to recommend your brand, it can't allow for attributes like size or the count to be wrong or conflicting with other information. And this is how eventually you win the offer table. When a bot gives a recommendation, it usually lists a few different sellers, and we know the top spot gets almost all the clicks. You win that spot by keeping your shipping fees and your inventory data very clean and easy for the bot to find. Lastly, I think that the smartest brands will be the ones that actually are quick about this. In the AI era, the brands that are punished the most will be the ones where content and website changes take months for approvals. I feel this becomes a very serious problem the larger your org is. So getting the buy-in from org leaders is something I'd recommend working on ASAP.
The general development and speed of development with AI, it's like you can't place a bet on a single retail channel or a single LLM. It's, get the fundamentals in place so that as the sort of consumer behavior shifts, hopefully you're there and ready, right?
Yeah.
I'm cognizant we've spent a lot of time in the AI corner, sort of the robot vacuum, just bashing into it repeatedly. So maybe we pivot a little bit into another area of the room. Shifting gears, but staying with you, Armin, we had this unveiling of what Amazon is calling the dynamic canvas and Seller Central. So a flashy name, but essentially my understanding of this, but would love to get your take, Armin, is there's this sort of AI interface. So I haven't left the corner entirely.
I was going to say,
also, I know
you're in the corner.
Still cornering. There's an AI element to this. It's also, I'd say, like an evolution of the sort of dashboarding capabilities that Amazon has unveiled consistently natively within Seller Central, between their P&L reporting, between a lot of their inventory and ops reporting. Armin, get us up to speed. Like, what is this dynamic canvas? Have you played around with it? Is it hype-worthy? Where do you stand?
Yeah. Honestly, looking at the old Seller Central sometimes felt like trying to read the Matrix in 1999. Just endless columns, the numbers, the live. This dynamic canvas is the first time Amazon is actually acting like a high-end tech company as they should be. I'm going to be technical for a second. It's not just a dashboard. It's built on what they call agentic architecture. Under the hood, it's running on Amazon Bedrock using the new Nova models and Anthropic Claude. In human English, the AI isn't just showing you the data, it's reasoning through it. It's like having like a data scientist living inside your laptop, but they're totally fine, like never taking a lunch break. In practice, it's drag and drop playground. So you've got like over 40 pre-built templates for things like what's my inventory health, ad efficiency, traffic metrics, and stuff like that. So you don't have to be a math genius to start. And you can pull in different widget blocks, things like heat maps when people actually shop, scatter plots for ad spend, donut charts for category splits, etc. What I love about this is also it has this view-only link share that you can just share it internally or externally. For service providers like us, this is an additional tool to use when sharing insights with clients. And for brand teams internally, these can be used for presenting different performance metrics and insights to their supervisors. And this new feature also seems to be one of many in the last year where Amazon is competing with other SaaS providers out there. They keep bringing innovation here. So really looking forward to seeing what next they build.
But overall, feeling a little bit hype worthy from your side on.
Really, really hyped about this one. Like there's, a lot of things to test, but super hyped.
This your enthusiasm, your energy is rivaling how excited you were about the Bosnia win. I feel it coming through.
And something tells me the SaaS community is slightly less hyped about this particular.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a little
So it's
bit.
a different, much sadder podcast.
Yes.
All right. I am going to pull us fully out of the AI corner with the next topic. We're going to move into another corner. We're moving into the media corner. So, Pat, I'm going to start with something that Amazon was probably really excited to see come out recently. First, Forrester shared a report where they summarized their analysis of 7 omni-channel ads platforms, and they ranked Amazon as the leader among leaders. This included in the analysis were the likes of Google and also the Trade Desk, to name a couple. What do you think this means for brands moving forward as they determine their media strategy and how Amazon fits into it?
Yeah, so staying on the hype train, I want to reiterate, this is a pretty big deal in our world. So this is called the Forrester Wave Report. So it's an independent research firm, Forrester, as you mentioned, and they recognize Amazon ads as the leader, specifically in omni-channel advertising platforms. And that score was based on their current offering, strategy, and market presence. I pulled out one of the blurbs that they had in the report because I thought it was particularly representative, which was Amazon Ads authenticated graph enables advertisers to deterministically reach 90% of households. And this is that 90% of households is with all that expanded partnerships and integrations with DSP we've been talking about right here on this pod. Across the US, best-in-class audience creation, targeting capabilities, boosted by, back a little bit in the corner, their AI agents, ads agent and creative agent. To me, this corroborates a theory that we've been talking about here, is that the evolution of Amazon ads, it really hasn't been just bottom of the funnel for many years. And to me, what makes this announcement big is it's really going to break through the perception that still some leaders in our space, especially on the brand side, have of that. I go find traffic on Meta, I go find traffic on social, I go find traffic on influencers, and I go convert that traffic on Amazon. And that is an antiquated way of thinking about things. And what this corroborates is that with Amazon DSP, with the ability to hit, I think it's 88 to 90% of authenticated connected TV households, Amazon ads is truly full funnel. And I know that word has no meaning because we pounded it into dust, but it is truly like we can engage with net new customers watching a Netflix show all the way to engagement and loyalty as subscribe and savers. So it's a big deal because, being honest, it's what we've been talking about for a while, and to see that be recognized is good to see.
You've kind of teed up my follow-on question very nicely here. We did not rehearse this, but you have teed it up well. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about as well is it's starting in Q2, we're finally seeing brands being able to unlock something that we were excited about back in 2025, which was so long ago now. And that's the Netflix Amazon partnership. Starting in Q2, brands can start buying Netflix inventory through Amazon DSP and apply Amazon audiences, which is huge. Can you talk to me about why this is huge and how this can be brought into play for brands as we head into Prime Day season?
Yeah, for sure. And you hit on the key part, because some folks listening might go, is this news? Doesn't this already happen last year? And the key difference that you just called out there is Amazon ads and Netflix themselves had already integrated, which is to say an advertiser could go into DSP and they could have an ad, and that ad will show up on Netflix. That you already could do. What's changing now, though, this is the golden goose here, is to be able to leverage Amazon audiences, which are those custom audiences you can create in AMC, and those take into account the literal billions and billions of shopping events and data insights from what did you click on? What did somebody view? Add to cart, add to wedding registry. How many ad impressions did they see? All those different insights that allow us, those are the strongest buying signals that we see for custom audience creation. Now you can build those audiences for better targeting, more specific targeting. This is kind of the whole ballgame of the partnership. Access to Netflix's audiences, that was phase one, and it's great just to be able to wow, there's a volume. How do I access that volume? But this second phase, the real juice is to be able to leverage those Amazon audiences in conjunction with the access to the Netflix. So let's say, for example, you want to get your brand visibility across shoppers who browsed within your category aisle, who haven't yet purchased, or who clicked on a detail page in your category in the last 6 months. You can create that audience and surface ads just to folks who meet that audience criteria across your Netflix media deployment here. So the golden goose, and I'm looking to get confirmation on this, is to be able to negate past purchasers of your brand so that everything you're reaching is truly incremental.
I'm just curious, where does that golden goose sit on our hype meter? Is that the golden goose is closer to the 10 than?
My understanding is we have until the end of this to determine our hype meter. So I'm going to sit on the golden egg. I don't know. This analogy has gone too far.
Okay. I'll bring it back. I tend to do that.
You highlighted a couple of big developments here. I think first is like audience access through Netflix. Second is the ability to target that audience effectively. Third, in the sort of DSP development front, is the measurement component. We've seen Brand Plus and Performance Plus be around for, I think, a little over a year now, since it was the previous Unbox that they really pushed those two developments. And we're now seeing a lot more insights natively within the console specific to Performance Plus, conversion timing, audience traits, those sorts of things. Curious, like, where you see this in the development arc of those products and what this means for advertisers specifically.
Yeah, so just to unpack a little bit the specific difference in the specific update that you're talking about. This update around Performance Plus, it surfaces metrics that DSP advertisers typically had to use AMC or some manual reporting and combination of sheets to be able to produce. And the two biggest ones are time to conversion and shopper audience segmentation. One of the more compelling use cases I could see to be able to use this is like comparing time to conversion across all available P plus tactics. And you can see how that makes sense because those different tactics are going to have pretty varied conversion windows. If you're reaching someone top of funnel, if you're reaching somebody who's basically in market, ready to convert. And so to be able to, in one report and in one silo, to be able to compare those is really powerful. That could meaningfully change in terms of what does this mean for an advertiser. That could change how they sequence those tactics, how they allocate budget across those different tactics, depending on what the performance goal is, and to maximize that media mix, and to also set expectations with clients as well. As we know all too well in the agency industry, it's not just here's this dollar and you'll get $5 out by the end of the day. Sometimes it's for impressions. Sometimes it's new to brand. I mean, increasingly, we're having these conversations all about how everything rolls into customer acquisition costs. The benefit here, it gives advertisers much more control and ease to be able to compare across tactic performance that just allows us all to make better media deployment decisions.
Yeah, to me, this is like continuation of two trends that we've spoken a lot about. One is the sort of AMC-ification of the native console, right? Like, how are we starting to see those insights come in directly? We've seen that on the sponsored search side for a while. DSP certainly seems to be now a subject of that. Second thing I would say is this is the sort of Amazon's glass box approach, right? Where you have the sort of PMAX black box idea of like, throw everything into a model, tell me the results at the end. You're a little more peeling back of the layers. I mean, I think you still let go some of control with Brand Plus, Performance Plus, but you're at least like seeing who am I targeting, when are they converting, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's sort of middle ground.
Amazon kind of had to do this because if they're doing all these fun integrations with Netflix and talking about how you can use Amazon audiences and reach all these new people, in order to complete that pitch and unlock brand budget, then it's incumbent on them to say, and you can also measure the efficacy of it. Otherwise, it's here's this access to all these audiences, and don't worry if it performed well. It seems really fun, and that's not really going to fly. So this closes that loop.
All right, we're going to shift gears a little bit and move over into Prime Day. As I mentioned, we are entering Prime Day season. And the last time on our last roundup, we talked a bit about the rumors around the change in timing for Prime Day 2026. We still don't have an official date, but we do have some key dates that Amazon has released. Armin, can you walk us through what do we know now for sure? What are you seeing that's looking a little bit different about Prime Day 2026 compared to years past? And what are some of the things that brands should be doing now to ensure that they're ready for when Amazon announces the date officially?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Amazon obviously loves playing these I have a secret games. The official dates are still hush-hush, but the rumors are confirmed in a way by the shipping cutoff dates that moved earlier this year. Just a few days ago, the deal submissions were open on March 24th. By the end of this month, you can also get a discount for upfront deal fees, $50 discount per promotion. And then on May 26th is when the deal submission window closes. The biggest technical shift this year is how they equalize the fees. Before, you had to do math for every different deal type. Now it's basically one size fits all performance model for best deals, sliding deals, and prime exclusive discounts. So you would pay $100 upfront fee plus 1.5% variable fee on your sales. It is capped at $5,000. So at least they aren't taking your entire retirement fund if you have a massive hit. But yeah, some recommendations I have for our listeners: keep your prices stable. The new eligibility rules are strict. So your deal price must be at or lower than your lowest price from the last 60 days and 5% off the lowest price in the last 30 days. If you want to run, let's say, a spring sale in April with a big discount, just try to wrap it up by mid-April or so to allow for that 60-day window to pass. If you don't keep your prices stable during that window, you won't qualify, or you'll just need to offer an even steeper discount. With fees now being equal, top pick this year, I think, should be best deals, followed by prime exclusive price discounts. Larger catalog brands might benefit from lower upfront fee when PEDs are used compared to best deals. This is just because PEDs allow you to actually set up to 500 SKUs in a single promo versus other deal types. And then my last recommendation is really just pay attention to the inventory deadlines. May 27th is the AWD shipment deadline cutoff, and then also the FBA shipments using minimal shipment splits. And then June 5th is when your FBA shipments using Amazon optimized shipment splits should be reaching Amazon. Basically, Amazon is just moving the homework a bit earlier, and I think they've given everyone enough time to be ready. If you're a brand and you haven't started your prep, today's the best day to start.
There you go. Motivation to get moving and get ready. All right. Well, now that we've spent a lot of time in AI corner, a little bit of media corner, and then prognosticating about when Prime Day is going to be and how to get ready for it, it's time for the hype meter, the most anticipated part of our conversation during our roundups. Armin, Pat, can you each share your 10 out of 10 where the golden goose is sitting is where I'm picturing for this one in terms of the updates, and also your your 1 out of 10s. Pat, go for it.
Oh, sorry. Yes. I got too excited because I'm so hyped about the Netflix audience creation, or the Amazon audiences to be able to use with Netflix creation. I think you're going to see this across other platforms and publishers, right? Not just Netflix. We've already seen this. This is not the end. This is the middle of this journey. And this will just become the regular way brands start talking about, oh, it's not like what keyword did you use on sponsored product. It's which episodes and which shows are you finding most audience resonance with your brand? And that will become normalized. That gets my hype. I don't know where this golden goose came from. Blame me for that, but that's where I'm putting that. The Criteo ChatGPT integration seems a bit like, let's throw this on the wall and see if it sticks. But given we just bailed on commerce, there's no sense that this will still be around a year from now. So I'm going to do a little wait and see with that one.
So meh, 1, 2.
I'm going to go with an official meh. Yeah, 1, 2 is good.
Okay. And Armin, I know what your true 10 is in terms of the news that we discussed today, the Bosnia win. But beyond that, what else gets your 10?
Yeah, it would be the dynamic canvas for sure. I'm just excited when Amazon releases things like these. It has AI, it has all the hype of the industry in it. SaaS solution providers, sorry, but this would be a 10 from me, especially as this matures. Initial stages of this might not work fully, but I'm really hopeful this turns into a really, really powerful feature with Amazon. And then for the meh, I don't have a meh today. It's more like Prime Day as the second update we discussed. It's like the meh portion of it is more just, it's nothing new, right? Like they changed a few things, but it's still the Prime Day, like the hype behind the event is there. But in terms of prep and how we work around it is more or less like just shifted 2 weeks earlier and that's it.
Yeah, we have pretty well-established playbooks. So now it's just pulling them off the shelf a little bit earlier. All right. Well, thank you everyone for another fun conversation for our retail roundup. And we'll have you back next month to dig into the AI corner, media, and maybe getting closer to knowing when Prime Day actually is.
Awesome. Thanks, Billy.